No Boston jury has sentenced anyone to death for more than 60 years now, but today, a jury in that famously liberal city made an exception for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
Dzhokhar Tsarnaev will pay with his life for his crimes.
Tsarnaev was one of two brothers whose homemade pressure cooker bombs tore through spectators and runners at the Boston Marathon a little more than 2 years ago. They killed 3 people, including an 8-year-old boy, and injured hundreds. Last month, Tsarnaev was found guilty of 30 counts, including possession of and use of a weapon of mass destruction. Survivors and relatives of victims were in court today, and they spoke afterward.
He wanted to go to hell, and he's going to get there early.
But not all of them wanted a death verdict. Survivor Lori Scher had this to say about Tsarnaev today.
I'm sure at one time in his life he was a very lovely, caring young man. What he turned into, obviously, we know what he turned into. He turned into a monster.
Still, she added, she does not want to see him executed.
I have my personal feelings about that, and I think I'd like to keep them to myself.
In fact, the state of Massachusetts does not have the death penalty, and polls suggest most residents in the state oppose executions. So Tsarnaev was charged with federal crimes in federal court, and jurors had to state they were prepared to impose death in order to qualify for jury duty. U.S. Attorney Ortiz listed the factors that led the Attorney General to seek execution.
The number of deaths. A child was murdered with a weapon of mass destruction. Another two young women as well. A police officer was executed in the line of duty. And so when you look at the gravity of the harm, and in particular as well, the many victims who became amputees.
But if Tsarnaev is ever executed for his crimes, he will become one of the very few federal convicts to actually lose his life. Such is the complexity and the length of the appeals process here that of 80 federal prisoners condemned since 1988, only 3 have been put to death. Neil MacDonald, CBC News, Washington.